I have the Omega Seamaster Aqua Terra Summer Blue on the bracelet to share with you today. A quick shout out to Exquisite Timepieces. Exquisite is the authorized dealer that lent this in for a video. I bought from them many times. I've borrowed watches from them for years to review. So if you are shopping any Omega, I will definitely recommend them, and a link will be below. Now, this watch is the sharpest looking Aqua Terra that I have come across in person. This light blue, this summer blue is so attractive. Omega really did an excellent job with this. It's part of the summer blue collection, which is 8 different Seamaster family models that Omega have done a blue dial on. And it's not just any blue dial. Some of them have a sunray, some of them have a fume, some of them have texture, and they're all a little different when it comes to the hue of blue. And what Omega has done is they have correlated the water resistance value to the color of the blue. So the watches like this Aqua Terra that have 150 meters, they have the brightest blue, the lightest blue. And then as you go down in water resistance, the blue gets darker. And that culminates with the Ultra Deep that has 6,000 meters of water resistance and a very dark blue with a lovely texture, a hidden signature. I think that one is really cool, and I would love to review one in the future. But let's get back to this Aqua Terra. This has the classic teak texture when it comes to the dial, but it also has a sunray finish and a fume color application, and it's this light saturated shade of blue that really stands out, especially in natural light. I think the light blue lume and that matching date wheel add a little bit to the overall package. And then you look at the other details like the applied markers, the handset, the applied logo. They all have the same lovely finish work as the standard versions of the Aqua Terra. The markers are very tall. They're angled, they're bi-finished. I think they match this bi-finished handset very well. And there's going to be polishing on the edges of the markers and then brushing on that angled top that slopes down toward the hand stack. The grain is very defined and it's very straight. There is not going to be any overlap with the brushwork. And there is also just the hint of the color spectrum visible when you view these these applied markers from the right angle and the right light situation. It's really visually interesting. And this is all viewed under a flame fusion sapphire crystal with dual applied anti-reflective coatings on the top of the crystal as well as the underside of the crystal. Going to the lume shot, we have a cyan color when it comes to the lume. It is not bi-colored like the traditional Seamaster dive watches are, but this does have good longevity and this does have good potency. If we zoom out and take a look at the case back, this is another element where it differs from the standard Aqua Terra. This has a new embossed medallion which will depict Poseidon wielding a trident, and it also has 2 different seahorse designs. One is the original design from 1956, and the other seahorse is Omega's current design. And I think the detail work here in this embossing, the stamping, is really nice. It's very defined, but fortunately it does not create any hot spots while you are wearing the watch, and I think that's a very important thing. Now on the wrist, again, the watch is very noticeable. It's very beautiful, and it's that blend of the light blue mixed with all of these polished surfaces that really draws the eye. I think the lyre style lugs add to the visual interest, and I just can't say enough good about the fit and the wrist presence of this summer blue Aqua Terra. The drawback though is all of this polishing, the polished center links, the polished bezel, the polished lyre lugs. It adds a lot of surfaces to accumulate hairline wear marks and dings and scratches and smudges, and that's very visible over time. I know I'm nitpicking here, but when there's a lot of polish, it doesn't age as gracefully over the years. But again, it does have its benefits with all of the light play and all of that pop. Now, the bracelet is the only real aspect of the model that I think Omega could definitely improve on. Us watch collectors have been asking the brand to go back to the full brushed style bracelet of prior generations of the Aqua Terra, or perhaps make the new president style bracelet available on the full-size Aqua Terra models. But most importantly, we want an adjustable sport clasp. The Aqua Terra is a sports watch after all. It has 150 meters of water resistance. Some people take this and they do water sport activities with it. The butterfly just doesn't cut it anymore. We definitely want an adjustable sport clasp that Omega is well known for doing excellent design and engineering work on. So I think we definitely need to see that in the future. I think Omega would sell more bracelet Aqua Terra models if they had a few cosmetic changes to the bracelet and definitely a new clasp. Now, the movement inside the case is the 8900 caliber. It is one of my personal favorites. It has 39 different jewels. It beats 25,200 times every hour and will have 60 hours of power reserve that are held in twin barrels, twin N-series barrels. The movement has a free-sprung balance, a full balance bridge for stability. The balance spring material is silicone, so it's great with shock. It's very anti-magnetic. There is also the patented tri-level coaxial escapement that Omega utilizes to reduce friction and allow for longer service intervals. The movement has sharp arabesque finishing, though you won't be able to see it on this one because of that medallion style case back, but on standard Aqua Terras, they come with the sapphire style display back. This movement is METIS certified, so it's a master chronometer that will be certified by the Swiss Federal Institute of Metrology. It's anti-magnetic to 15,000 Gauss. It really is a great movement, and my favorite thing about it is the time zone jumping hours complication. This is my favorite of the common or more practical complications. You can bump the hour hand forward or backward independent of hacking the balance and interrupting the timekeeping. So it's very handy if you travel and cross time zones, or it's very handy to adjust for daylight savings time, or it just takes a couple seconds to adjust the date at the end of an irregular month. Again, I really enjoy the jumping hours feature, and I know I'm not alone there, but it's not unanimous. There are a lot of watch collectors that don't like it because they prefer a quick set date. Regardless, I'd like to see this in more Omega calibers. I find it very practical. Now let's talk about this model as a whole as we wrap up this video. I think it's easy to see why the Aqua Terra is held in such high regard by us watch fans. It's a great size. It has excellent dial details. It has a very good movement. It has good lume. It's versatile enough to be worn casually, or it's also sharp enough to be dressed up a little bit in more formal situations. It has good water resistance. It has that METIS certification. It's available at the authorized dealers, so there's not the scarcity gamesmanship that sometimes takes place with very desirable models. In fact, I've talked to several watch collectors that say that this Aqua Terra is better than a Datejust when it comes to the specs and finishing, but it's thousands less at retail price and it's more readily available. So maybe that's a topic for another video. I just find this an all-around excellent watch, and to me this is pretty close to perfect. It really just needs a couple different tweaks and upgrades, like a new bracelet and definitely that new sports style clasp. Maybe a polished tungsten bezel for scratch resistance, very similar to what Omega has done with the fluted bezel of the Globemaster. I think that could be pretty practical. But the watch market has proved that none of these elements that I'm talking about, none of these negative elements are deal breakers. The Aqua Terra still sells very well. It's just that fan in me that wants to see the improvements. Let me know what you think though. Thank you to Exquisite Timepieces for lending this in for review. I really appreciate that. Again, if you're shopping any Omega, check them out. A link will be below. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll respond to you in the comment section. Please like this video if you enjoyed it or got something from it, and please subscribe for more content like this. Thank you.